In the next 30 minutes, you're gonna make your first song. No experience, no music theory, no instrument experience required. Follow along with me, and by the end of this video, you'll have something real to show for it. Let's jump in. There's a full beginner course linked below, but right now, let's make something. All right, so first off, I have my music creation software. You'll hear it known as a DAW. The one that I'm using is FL Studio. So I created a new project here. So File, New from Template. You can start off with the basic with limiter. So the basic with limiter, if you open that, that has these four or these 5 instruments already preset here. Don't worry about what happens next. I just want to give you an overview. Now I have a custom template here that allows me to record and show you guys my screen. So it's going to look slightly different, but the general premise is the same. Now what we're going to want to do is pick the speed of our song, how fast or how slow we want it to be. In order to do that, we'll go up into the top left here, and then let's bring it down to maybe like a 110 to start. And then we can turn on our metronome, which is our beat that tells us when notes are supposed to hit and what the timing frame of reference is. So if we go ahead and press that, click this little button that looks like a ring, and then you press play, you're able to hear that. This is also known as a click. Now, since we have our new project open and we have our metronome already set, let's go ahead and start with one instrument. Now, I already have a keyboard plugin here, so I could delete this, or I'll just create a new one here. If you go to this plus sign under the flex space, and then press the plus sign here, then we'll go ahead and go to FL Keys first. So FL Keys, this is our piano virtual instrument. You'll hear this called things like these, known as plugins. So this piano plugin, whenever we click a note on our keyboard, like either our computer keyboard or our piano keyboard, if you have one hooked up, it's going to spit out a piano sound. Now, let's see here. If you're not hearing it, go ahead and make sure you have this selected. This is the typing keyboard to piano. Now, there are a few ways we can go about this, but the best beginner-friendly way to help you get that song going and help keep that momentum going is to let's start with some chords. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right-click on our FL Keys and then click on our piano roll. And then I'm going to zoom out, and then you'll see this fun little thing with all of these grids here. Now, there isn't too much to worry about. This is less intimidating once you know what everything does. Now, just really quick, notice how there are these numbers in the top. Those numbers tell us which bar we're on. So which set of beats that we're on. So this is, again, our frame of reference, and you'll hear it once we start to click buttons in here. Now, over here we have our piano, so that whenever you left click, it'll make a sound. So let's go ahead and create our first chords. I'm going to, for simplicity's sake, create the first chords, our group of notes within the C major scale. And if you don't know what those notes are yet, that is perfectly okay. You could let's go to our, that arrow, go to View, and then let's go to Note Grid Highlights. Go ahead and make sure that left click to turn this on, and then it should have a check mark next to it. Go to View, go to Scale Highlighting. Let's click Major Ionian, since this is what we're going to be using in our song here. Let's do that. And then let's go ahead and go to View, click it one more time, the scale highlighting. We want to make sure our root note is C. The root note is what determines the key. Now, in that musical frame of reference. Now, the first chord that I want to make is going to be a C major chord. So go ahead and follow along with me. I'm going to teach you a very common chord sequence that you'll hear in some of your favorite songs. So C, E, G, C, E, G, And then if we press play, notice how there are four clicks that go on with the metronome when we press play. That is the rhythm. Now, what we can also do, let's go ahead and add 3 more sets of chords here so that we have something that ends after the former. Or actually, I have another idea. C. We're going to make a D minor chord. So this is with D, F, and A. You can always see the letter names here and here. D, F, and A. And then let's go ahead and add C, D, and then A major. Cool. A, C, E. And then let's do F major. All right, so that's F, A, C. So we've got this here. Here are our chords so far. Cool, that sounds great already. So now let's go ahead and give our chords a little bit more spice. Now in order to do this, we can go ahead and go to our slice button here. What we're going to do, we're going to split these chords up so that they have a little bit more of a groove. So let's see here. I'm going to first split them in half. So we'll like this, and you'll see that. How did I do that? If you zoom in, you'll see that there are 3 big lines within each measure here, as long as you are selected on 1/4 beat with this magnet. So then you could just left click and slice it down the middle. So we're going to do that for all of these here. Nice. And then this is what we have so far. And then if we wanted it even a little bit more interesting, we can break these chords in half again. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to go ahead and left click, drag this down, and just cut each one in half. Sweet. Now this is our final result for our chords for right now. All right, that sounds pretty good so far. Now we'll go ahead and Control S to save this because we do not want to lose any of our progress. And I'm going to name this as our 30-minute song. All right, and then you can use my settings shown here. Okay, now, great job on having your chords set already. Now let's go ahead and create our melody. Now, since we're doing this in 30 minutes, we're going to make it a quicker way. So let's go ahead and do this here. Now let's go ahead and do a plus sign, and we're going to do another FL keys. So just to get our basics down. So one thing that I love to do is record me singing the melody idea that I want in my song so that I can use it and replicate it within the song. So in order to do this, I'm going to open my voice recorder. You can do this on your phone as well. First of all, I'm going to think about what melody I kind of want here. So let's see here. And then I can press play and it'll try to sing along with it. Okay, that's something that I would want to do. So I'm going to click the record button up here. Da, 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 da. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is start working on chipping away at it. So if I'm going to go ahead and press play one more time. Da, 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 da. Cool beans. I'm going to minimize that. Then I can close out both of these. And then I'm going to right click on our second FL keys here. And then I'm going to go to the piano roll. And then since we're going to be in the same pattern, which you'll find selected up here, you'll see these ghost notes. That's what they're called. And they're going to be grayed out versions of whatever other instruments you have notes on within this pattern. So pattern 1 for us. Everything that we've been doing has been within this pattern. Now, in order to enable those, just go to the arrow, go to View, and then go and make sure Ghost Channels down here is enabled with that check mark. Now, to continue, let's go ahead and make this melody. Da. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start singing it, and then just find the note. Just find the note it is. Da. Da. Okay, good. Da. 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 Da, 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 da. Now, here's what we have so far. Here's what I have so far. The main thing was making sure that I got the notes in, even if the timing isn't quite matching the original recording just yet. That came out a lot better than I thought. I'm going to shorten the right tails of these notes in order for us to shorten them. Okay, all right. And this will shorten the length of the notes. And then what I also want to do is move these notes over so that they start at a sooner time. So, and then probably move this over too. And then a lot of this is experimentation, so. Da, da, da. Let's try this. Da, da, da. And then notice how I'm singing along as I see the metronome and this line, this so-called playhead, as it's going through. This is giving me a great idea as to where where the next sound needs to come in. Da, da, da. Let's start it here. Da, da, da. Up here. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Cool beans. Now Control S to save that. And then I'm going to just bring these tails in just so. Perfect. We have our melody at this point, and it works well with our chords. Now, what we're going to do, Control S to save it, and then we'll X out of that. And then what we want to do in order to stay organized is rename and recolor our labels here. So in order to do that, I'm going to middle mouse click to open this menu. You can also right click and then go to rename color and icon. That will get you the same result. And then I'm going to type in chords, piano, and then I'm going to middle click here and then melody, piano. One thing that I want to do is actually pick some sounds. I do know that I'm going to want some strings for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open that orange and then click flex, and then you'll see this pop up. And so you'll see all of these different instruments here. Do not worry about what they all do. It can get overwhelming. But for sure, I do know that I want strings. So I'm going to go to the essential strings section here, and then let's go to all strings sustained. All right, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to find this little green button here, or this rectangle that's highlighted green, and I just left clicked on it for the chords, and then all I'm going to do is Control C to copy, or I think or Command C for Mac, and then Control V or Command V after selecting the green rectangle on the all strings sustained. And then I am going to press play. Okay, that is very overpowering here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mute this chords piano one so that it turns off. Then I'm also going to turn it down here. All right, cool beans. Now let's add another sound here for our melody. So what I'm going to do, then I'm going to go to the flex again, and then I'm going to pick a pluck to go on top of this. So I'm under mobile synth pluck, and then I'm just pressing a note on my keyboard to just test it and see how it sounds. Okay, I like the simplex square, so we're going to select that, next out. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the chords. Left click on this gray square, Control C to copy, Control V to paste on the simplex square, and then here's how it sounds. I'm going to mute this piano melody. And then I actually want to hear how it sounds with the piano. Okay, all right, that sounds a lot cooler here. And then I also want to test how it's going to sound speeded up. So in order to do that, we're just going to left click on this where we adjusted our speed before, and then just bring it up. Let's see how it sounds at like 130. And then, okay, I like that so far. Now I'm going to add a bass line. It rounds out the sound scale so that every space is filled. So you'll see what I mean in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead, plus sign, I'm going to open flex again, and then I'm going to go to the bass utopia here. Ooh, hear how growly those are? Ooh. And for this part, you may need to turn your volume down just in case it blows out your eardrums, like it's kind of blowing out mine here. So let's see. Oops. All right, I like this ultra square here. I'll close out of this. And then in order to create a bass line, the simplest way is to copy the bottom line of your chords. So the easiest way, we're gonna select this all string sustain, Control C, go to the ultra square, Control V, so it copies the piano roll. And then I'm gonna go here and just right click to delete all of the notes that are on top of our root notes within the chords. So the root note is determining what the name of the chord is and what the identity of the chord. So let's see here. So for this, it would be getting rid of this E and G. We'll get rid of these top ones here. We'll get rid of these top ones here. And then we'll get rid of these top ones. And then let's hear how it sounds already. I like how that sounds already, but I want to split these again because I want it to sound like a da 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 da. Now, in order to do that, we're gonna open our fun handy dandy slicer tool again and split each note in half one more time. So I'm gonna do this, beep beep beep. Oops, and then Control Z to undo here. Oop, there we go. Now here's how it sounds. think I want to experiment to see how it sounds a little bit lower. So in order to do that, I am going to press Control down. That brings it down 8 notes, which is going to bring us back down to that C, but a little bit lower on the keyboard. Okay, I don't like that, so I'm going to Control Z and get it back up there. And then I'm going to X out of that. And yeah, so that is our bass line, guys. It sounds great so far. Now, we are going to add drums. So we've got our preset kick, clap, hi-hat, and snare here. These are all different elements of the drum, of a real drum here. So we can always just select this part, the gray rectangle, and press a button on your keyboard to hear what it sounds like. Feel free to turn these down a bit. I'm going to want to make sure these are re-enabled by turning these green circles back on. And let's see here. I'm going to definitely want to turn this down and turn this down. Now, a kick, this is the one that gives us the groove. So what I'm going to want is something every 4 beats. So in order to do this, I'm going to right-click on this kick here, and then click fill each 4 steps. So this is how it sounds with just the kick. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and click the, I want a little bit of a snare. We'll do a little bit of a snare here. We're going to use a common drum pattern here. So on the first red one, or actually on all the red ones, the first red rectangles, at left click to turn on the drums for that section. So here's how our snare sounds. And then in the case that I want to change up that snare here, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my browser here. If you don't see this, just click this button up here on the upper left. You should see this pop up. Now, it'll look all closed. Don't worry about everything else. Under the packs section, go to drums mode audio, and then let's go to snare. There's a lot of cool snares in here. Let's try this. Fracture. I like the fracture snare 1. So all I'm going to do, left click and drag it onto the snare here. Let's try this one, this House Gen Snare 28. Okay, and then let's add a clap too. Same thing, so I just selected this here, Control C, and then Control V to the clap. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rename these again here. So we never use the flex bass, so I'm going to actually delete that. Right click, delete, just cleaning everything up here. So right over here, so we got chords. And then I like to just change the color to green for any chords. This is our melody. And this is going to be like low or teal, except. And then ultra square is our bass, so I'm going to do this. Boom. The next step is to open up our playlist. This is going to be this window here. And you'll see this fun thing pop up. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, there's nothing on it. But you see this little pattern here? Now it has lines on it when before it did not. So I'm going to select that. And then with make sure the paintbrush is selected, making sure I add this here. And then we can zoom in by Control scroll wheel. And then you have the you can adjust how big you see each line. Now, whenever you select this playlist, it's going to automatically turn to song. So song is the entire song that we're about to put together here. So I'm going to press play here, and it's going to sound the exact same. And then left click again to add it again. Identical. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put that pattern 1 in one more time, but we're going to change it up. So in order to create, next step is to just click this little piano icon, click Make Unique, and then you'll see that pattern 2 shows up here. Now this pattern 2, although it has the same stuff that pattern 1 has, it's going to be independent of that. So we're going to modify with that. So let's go ahead and go to the channel rack again. So this fun to-do list looking thing. And what I want to do is add some hi-hats. So these are types of cymbals. These will add additional intensity. So change it up a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to right click, fill each 2 steps on the hi-hat, and then here, and turn it down, and here's how it sounds. And then I'm actually going to select the pattern one more time so we can hear it independently. All right, that sounds a lot. That sounds so cool. So now I want to add this here. Boom. So we've got pattern 1, we got our pattern 2, and here is our song at this point. And we can actually change the color here. So pattern 1, same thing as if we were renaming an instrument. Right click, renaming color, or middle mouse click. And then let's go to, I like pink, so I'm going to use pink. Or fuchsia, whatever that is. And then pattern 2, let's make this blue. Let's go like brighter, this cornflower blue. And then here's what we have. Awesome! You've got your first song within 30 minutes. Great job. Be so proud of yourself. And in order to share it, here's how you can do that. So make sure you have it, Control S, and then we're going to go ahead and click File, and then go to Export. And then we can just save it as a WAV file. That is going to be the highest quality. Here, left click. I often save it in the default section. Choose a cool name for your first song. Finders Keepers. Boom! And then you're going to see the screen pop up. Don't worry much about this. Just copy the settings that I have here. So full song, leave remainder, WAV, WAV, and then click Start. It's ready. All right, and then you'll see it in your files. You'll see it in your files right over here. You can open this, and then you can go ahead and share your first song with your friends. We went through a general workflow in order for you to create your first short song so that you have something to show for your creative ideas. Now, if you want more in-depth lessons on music creation or music production, I have a full beginner course that will take you from 0 to creating your first full songs in more detail. Check out the link in the description if you're interested. See you next time. Bye.